Hallo zusammen. Today, we definitely need to find out what Metallica's song Enter Sandman might have been like if it had been written in German, auf Deutsch. What would the lyrics be like? What is interesting about them when you translate them? And how can you learn German with Metallica? Let's dive into this. I'm German and I was born in 91 when this came out, this album, the Black Album, Metallica. I basically grew up with those songs and I loved them from the first listen, basically. They have somewhat like a powerful atmosphere, great production to them, great hooky melodies and riffs, and intriguing lyrics. And gotta be honest, even though I've known the song for so many years now, I haven't really paid too much attention to its title and how you could translate it to German, for instance, or how you could comprehend it. Are you supposed to enter the Sandman? And is the Sandman okay with that? I mean, even the first term could be interpreted in various ways. Is it the infinite verb? To enter, eintreten, or rather meant as a command towards the Sandman. Enter, Sandman. So literally speaking, it could be eintreten, Sandmann, or betritt den Sandmann, enter the Sandman. In both English and German, we're dealing with a compound word. Der Sandmann, singular, die Sandmänner, plural, which consists of der Sand, singular, die Sande, plural, and der Mann, singular, die Männer, plural. I could be totally wrong about this, and feel free to tell me in the comments, of course. But to me, it almost sounds like as if like a stage presenter introduces the act of the day, and they go like, entering today for you on stage, the Sandman.
Ladies and gentlemen, The Weeknd.
Let's start off with the first verse. Sprich deine Gebete, Kleiner. Vergiss nicht, mein Sohn, alle mit einzuschließen. Ich decke dich zu, wärme dich, or innen warm, halte dich von Sünde fern, bis der Sandmann kommt. I love the way singer and guitarist James Hetfield evokes a relatable yet slightly unsettling mood by addressing the Sandman as a seemingly evil creature in the last line. What's interesting about the first line though is, linguistically speaking, up until the very end of it, you don't know what the little one is referring to. That's to do with the one, apart from being a digit, also functioning as an indefinite pronoun here. If it's related to a boy, a male human being, it would be Kleiner, for der Kleine, singular, die Kleinen, plural, the little boy. And if it's related to a girl, a female human being, it would be Kleine, for die Kleine, singular, die Kleinen, plural, the little girl. Instead of the masculine or feminine form, you could also choose the neuter form, for instance if the gender is unknown or irrelevant. And it sounds counterintuitive, and it actually is. The standard German term for the girl, a girl, is das Mädchen. It's not a feminine term, it's a neuter term. But why is that? Well, because das Mädchen is a minimized form, which you can see from the suffix chen, which is a typical German suffix for minimized terms. Das Mädchen, singular, die Mädchen, plural, is derived from die Magd, which is a feminine term, so it's basically little maid. It's only at the end of the line that we learn it's a boy. Line 3 gave me food for thought, because I suppose you could technically interpret the warm within as either being part of the lyrical I explaining what they are doing. Ich decke dich zu, I tuck you in, as in ich decke dich zu und wärme dich. I tuck you in and keep you warm within. Or rather as an only slightly related situation like cause and effect. Ich decke dich zu, innen warm. I tuck you in, warm within, which is the literal translation as well. The same semantic duality could be applied to the last part of this line. It could either be another thing the lyrical I, seemingly apparent, expresses. In general, the literal translation would be halte dich frei von Sünde, which is a rather poetic phrasing. A more daily German or modern phrasing would be halte dich von Sünden fern, which works best with the plural form of sin, I'd say, for die Sünde, singular, die Sünden, plural, the sin. Again, you could either interpret this part as a continuation of the lyrical I mentioning what and why they do this. Ich halte dich von Sünde or Sünden fern. I keep you free from sin or sins. And /or, it's meant as an advice toward the boy. Halte dich von Sünde fern. Keep you or yourself free, meaning away from sin. I guess the pre-chorus rather seems to lean more toward this latter interpretation, with it being sort of a warning or advice. Schlafe mit einem Auge offen, greife dein Kissen fest. The expression with one eye open could either be translated literally as in mit einem Auge offen for das Auge, singular, die Augen, plural, the eye, or slightly altered, mit einem offenen Auge, with one open eye. Both would work, but the second one would be more common, I guess. Again, Hetfield choosing a rather poetic and loose wording is only a natural thing in the context of these being lyrics to a song. It's such a huge sounding chorus, but it's only a few words that are sung. And that is because of the long vowels, of course, you know. Excelite. Doesn't need like 1,000 words to express what it wants to express. It's basically economical linguistically speaking, you know. Doing much with little. Verlasse das Licht. Betritt die Nacht. Nimm meine Hand. Wir reisen ins Nimmerland. Here, the perspective basically shifts away from the child to the Sandman, who is talking now. Now it's getting down to business, I guess. You may have noticed the additional articles I used in my German translation. That's not a personal choice, but rather a mandatory addition to make these orders or commands work in a proper linguistic German way. I also like how you could make lines 3 and 4 rhyme without having to alter the overall wording at all. Line 3 even features a literal translation for die Hand, singular, die Hände, plural, the hand, which also is a good example for a common German A, Hand. The term Neverland would equal das Nimmerland in German, meaning Peter Pan's world in specific. Now off to verse 2. Etwas stimmt nicht. Mach das Licht aus. Schwere Gedanken heute Nacht. Und sie sind nicht von Schneewittchen. Träume von Krieg, Träume von Lügnern, Träume vom Feuer des Drachen und von Dingen, die beißen werden. Ja. It's the end of line 1, respectively the expression thought of in combination with line 2, that gave me some trouble translating it properly. In German, the verbal phrase to think of something or somebody could be an etwas or jemanden denken, but in this specific context, the denken an, think of or think about, with the preposition an, which actually means on, and here of or about, doesn't really work all too well with the rest of the lines, I don't think. The choice schwere Gedanken heute Nacht is the literal equivalent to heavy thoughts tonight, but the second line may be expressed in a slightly different way in German. Schwere Gedanken heute Nacht und sie handeln nicht von Schneewittchen. Heavy thoughts tonight, but they don't deal with Snow White. For von etwas handeln, to deal with something. And das Schneewittchen, Snow White, the character. I mentioned that so explicitly because in daily and standard German, that is, the color white is weiß. Or, if it's a noun, das Weiß. And by the way, little mnemonic for you guys. In German, all colors, when they are used as a noun, are neuter nouns. Das Weiß, das Rot, das Blau. You're welcome. You're welcome. However, in this fairy tale context, the English name Snow White would rather be known as Schneewittchen in German. And once again, you may have noticed that the chen at the end, a minimized form once again. It's not a big Snow White, it's just a little Snow White. Yeah. Many Germans may also choose to use a compound word instead, for instance. Träume vom Drachenfeuer, dreams of dragon fire. Either way, it's der Drache, singular, die Drachen, plural, the dragon, and das Feuer, singular, die Feuer, plural, the fire. I'm still wondering how to translate the interjection yeah in a proper German way. When you think about it, it seems to be used in an especially colloquial slang way, you know. In that case, the German jo, as a colloquial form of the standard interjection ja, yes, could be fitting. But of course, that term, ja, may also work as a translation of yeah, even though then it may not really express its colloquial character all too much. But it all depends on the context, of course. Ladies and gentlemen, the last section of the lyrics that we haven't talked about, a very well-known English children bedtime prayer, which even dates back to 1698. It is said to have been written by the British clergyman George Wheeler, which of course I knew by heart and I didn't have to look that up. The more you, the more I, the more we know. Jetzt lege ich mich schlafen. Bete zu Gott, dass er meine Seele behält. Falls ich sterbe, bevor ich erwache, bete or betet zum Herrn, dass er meine Seele nimmt. Die Seele, Singular, die Seelen, Plural, the soul, and the Lord, in this case God, which is der Gott, Singular, die Götter, Plural, the God, which is both masculine and the general term, or if it's specifically a feminine god, it's die Göttin, Singular, die Göttinnen, Plural, the goddess. Without specifications, the second pray could be addressing one or multiple people, hence the bete, which would address one person, or betet, which would address multiple people, since I guess this sentence is directed at a third party, and it's not necessarily the lyrical I themselves praying, since they would have died already. The second part of the bridge continues with a reaction to the prayer, which seems to be coming from either the Sandman, embodying fear of the unknown, or a parent doing a really bad job at soothing their child. Still, kleines Baby. Sag kein Wort. Und vergiss das Geräusch, das du gehört hast. Es sind nur die Biester, or Monster, unter deinem Bett, in deinem Kleiderschrank, in deinem Kopf. You could translate hush as a command in two ways, either alongside the commanding verb sei, first person Präsens, which is the German present tense, for sein, to be, sei still, be quiet, or without it, still, quiet, hush. The plural noun beasts in line 3 could either be translated to Biester, for das Biest, Singular, die Biester, plural, the beast, which, actually gets pronounced like the German singular equivalent, beast. The German noun features a fixed vowel combination, a diphthong. In the case of ie, the e doesn't get pronounced, but rather indicates that the e is long and stressed. That e basically serves as a prolonging vowel. It's not bist and neither biest, but beast with a long e. You can find that vowel combination in many other German terms as well. Last but not least, the short English noun closet can be a longer compound word in German. Der Kleiderschrank, Singular, die Kleiderschränke, Plural. In a more general sense, you could also choose der Schrank, Singular, die Schränke, Plural, the closet, without the additional first part. One of the major linguistic tools Germans use in daily life, basically, whether it's for daily use or whether you just have to use it once in a very specific scenario and context, but then you need that word and then you make it up. I'm talking about compound words. Der Kleiderschrank, which basically consists of two separate parts merged together, and then you have a new term, but because, for the most part at least, you already know the components of this compound word, you know what the compound word may mean combined. Very effective German language, very effective. And now we've entered the Sandman, and I'm afraid I wanna get out of there. Maybe you like it there, I don't know. Anyway, maybe you enjoyed this video. I hope you did, because I surely enjoyed making it. It's always fun for me as well to actually come up with a translation of those songs that I love so much and to really find out more about the original lyrics. If you enjoyed this and if you're interested in the German language and culture, feel free to check out my other videos as well, of course, and subscribe for more to come. You can also check out the video description down below with many interesting and helpful links to my socials and other support options such as patreon.com/Davenately. And thanks for watching, everyone. Definitely see you next time. Tschüss und bis zum nächsten Mal.